everybody. I'm Terry Schultz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you from Aledo, Texas. And today I have a really cute card to show you, and probably a second one that we'll work on a little bit too, and we may finish depending on how long the first one takes. So before I get started, I wanted to remind you that the new mini catalog, this is it right here, starts on Friday the 3rd, which is so exciting because there's so many cute things in here. And Celebration also starts on Friday. So awesome stamp sets in here, and there's a really great deal for joining. If you join my team during Celebration, you're going to get some extra special add-ons to your kit. One of them is this super cute little guillotine trimmer, which is perfect for cutting 6x6 paper. You're also going to get this set of 6x6 paper, which has samples, 4 of each of some of the papers in the new mini catalog. It's in that super cute paper, and that is awesome. That goes with the Poppy set. And then you also get to pick any stamp set out of the current catalogs to add to your kit, which is a really great deal. So Celebration is super awesome because you get to pick free things for every $50 of your order, which is really exciting. So today I'm going to be working with a couple of the new stamp sets in the new mini catalog, and we're going to make, there's an extra little heart on here. This card, isn't that beautiful? I just love that card, and that's the inside. So we're going to do it slightly different than this. It'll be pretty much the same on the front, but we're just going to put together a little bit differently than I did this one, and I'll explain in a minute. So we're using these 2 stamp sets, which are part of a suite of products, and we are using the coordinating punches. So these punches, there's a scallop heart and a regular heart, if you can see that. Those coordinate with this stamp set, so that comes as a bundle. And then this one has a die, it's one that comes with it, which is super fun and awesome. You can do so many things with that. It's one piece, but there's just so many things you can do with that, and I'll show you a couple of things that I've done with it, just playing around with it the last few days. So these are what we're using. We're just going to use, out of this stamp set, we're going to use this sentiment and a couple of these hearts. And then from this one, we're going to use this sentiment and this heart right here. But you could do these cards if you just wanted to use one stamp set. You could use just one of them if you wanted to, and some of the designer series paper that goes with it, and make a really cute card as well. So this one is just a little bit more involved. So I have my Stampin Pierce Mat out here because these are photopolymer stamps, as you can see. So when you use the photopolymer stamps, it helps to have a little bit of a cushion under it, or a piece of rubber under it, because the cling stamp sets have the rubber built into them, and you just get kind of a crisper image if you have something like this, the Stampin Pierce Mat, under it. And I've just wrapped it with part of a piece of grid paper just to protect the surface of the Stampin Pierce Mat. So let's get started with this card, and I'm going to start this time with a thick Whisper White card base, and it's 5.5 by 4 and by 8.5, and then I've scored at 4 1/4 and folded that over and creased it real good. So you might have noticed on this card I actually started with a real red card base, and I just die cut out of half of the card base and then folded it over. But then I added white on both sides here to cover the die and to give us a place to write. So I thought I'm going to start with a white card base this time and see how that goes. So I'm using this die, and I've already cut them out, but I've left them kind of connected to the pieces so you can see. I've cut one in Flirty Flamingo and one in Real Red, and I've kind of left some of these pieces in here so you can see how those little hearts just pop right out of there like that. And so it's just super easy. I ran it through my die cut machine, and I have a Big Shot, which Stampin' Up! Used to sell but does not anymore. They will be coming out with some new kind of die cut machine, but not sure when. Maybe in the new annual catalog that'll be coming out in June. We will just have to see. But I have a Big Shot, and you can use any die cut machine that you have. If you have a Big Shot, you can get those at places like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, or other places online. So I just cut out or popped out these little hearts, and I keep those, and I'll show you why when we get to the second card. Hopefully it won't take us too long. Sorry, I bumped my light with my head. I'm not used to this. My husband got me a new kind of light and camera holder set up for Christmas, and I'm trying it out for the first time now. And it's a little bit lower than what I'm used to, so I'm hitting it with my head, which is okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring these back in and just pop these bigger dies out of here, and they're just a single piece, and they're a little, not terribly delicate there, because you can see there are some solid hearts here. And then some solid pieces of the larger piece of cardstock that stay all connected, which is nice for this technique that we're using. You can just do so much with this die, and I'm excited to play with it even more and just try some other things with it. So I am going to be offering a kit class based on one or both of these stamp sets starting in January. I'm working on getting those up on my website, so you can order those if you're interested. There will be a few options. You can order just the PDF that will have some instructions for to make 8 cards using these stamp sets, at least one of the stamp sets, and the bundle. So either the one that matches with the punches, or the one that matches with the with this die. And that I'm doing it that way because that'll make it a little bit easier for you if you want to get the option to order the bundle from me, in which case you would get the PDF free and the kit free. So there's also an option to get the kit with paper and cardstock, cardstock and DSP to go with it. So now I just have to decide which one I want as my base and which one as my inside. And I think I'm going to go with Flirty Flamingo this time as my base right here. And then I will fit the Real Red one back in like that. Doesn't that look stunning? I just love these colors together. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down, and I'm using my liquid multi-purpose glue. I like liquid because it gives you, it's a little bit more forgiving, I guess. It gives you you have a little bit of time before it sets to wiggle things around. And this one has been giving me problems ever since I have gotten it out. So I'm gonna see if I can use a different one that'll work better. I got these little, I guess they're candle holders at an estate sale, but I put my glue right in them, and they hold them just perfectly. So I found them at an estate sale not too long ago, and I thought they would be perfect for holding my glue, except that my glue doesn't seem to want to cooperate with me. This one's coming out. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on these solid pieces here, and I'm going to move that so I don't have a disaster all over it, because I'm squeezing this pretty hard and it's barely coming out. So I don't know what's been going on here with my glue, but I'm just going to try to get a bit of glue on most of these solid pieces so they will stick down. And I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, whatever you celebrate, and have enjoyed some time off. I have a full-time job, and so I was off we're always off the week between Christmas and New Year, which I really like because it gives me some time to just relax and recharge. I didn't get to do a lot of playing in here or videos. My daughter's been home from college, and so I was spending some time with her. I had a friend up here over the weekend. We actually did some playing in here in my room and made some Valentine's cards and some other stuff. Did a project, so that was super fun. Today is New Year's Eve day, so I don't know what you guys like to do to celebrate New Year's Eve. I'll usually end up watching some of the festivities on TV if I'm not watching football, but I do like to watch football. So I've got that glued down. This piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock is 5.5 by 4 1/8, so I cut it just slightly more narrow than the front of the card base, just to give myself a little bit of room, and I kind of like those little white borders there anyway. So now I'm going to set that one aside for the moment, and I'm going to glue this one right in here. And the way I'm going to get glue on the back of this this die cut piece, is I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, and this is just a piece of silicone. You can order this, it's in the catalog, in the annual catalog, and I'm going to put some glue right on the sheet, if this glue will cooperate. Doesn't seem to want to cooperate too much, but what's going on with all my glues are clogging up today. I don't know what's happening. So there, and this is a silicone sheet, so the glue isn't going to stick to it. Once it dries, you can just peel it right off. So I've turned this over, so make sure you put the glue on the back side of your die cut piece. And then I've got just a sponge, you can order these as well, that I've cut in quarters that I'm using to just dab the glue onto these thinner pieces. And I'm just dabbing just like this. And I think I need some more glue. And this glue dries clear, so it's not going to be a problem if you get a little bit of it on the front. This really shouldn't be empty. It doesn't feel like it's empty, and it shouldn't be clogged, so I don't know what the problem is. But anyway, we're making it work. So, did you all see any movies over the holidays? I know some families have a Christmas tradition or a holiday tradition to go see movies as a family. I went to see Frozen 2 with my daughter and her boyfriend and her boyfriend's mom. So that was fun. We went before Christmas Day. I don't remember which day we went and saw it. I think it was Sunday, maybe. Not last Sunday, but the Sunday before Christmas. and it was real cute. My daughter's 20, but she wanted to see Frozen 2, and she wanted to go with her boyfriend and his mom, so that was fun. Her boyfriend is a real nice guy, and his mom is real sweet too. So that was fun. And then when my friend was here this weekend, we went and saw Little Women, which I loved. I just love that story of those March sisters and Jo March, the writer, and they each just have their own, you know, little talents, and it's just a really sweet story, and it was a really good movie. I've seen that story done a number of ways and in various interpretations, but I liked this one too as a lot. So those movies are worth seeing. So now, as you can see, I have that just fit right into where it's die cut out. There are some little string pieces that won't matter, but that you can wipe off or whatever. So that's the front of the card, and then we're going to put a ribbon and a heart on top of it, and we're going to do some stamping. So the ribbon I'm using is this ribbon that goes with the suite. It is double stitch satin ribbon. It's really pretty. It's satin, it's easy to work with. So I'm just going to tie a bow, and what I like to do is just kind of leave it connected to give myself enough ribbon to work with hopefully without wasting too much ribbon. And a lot of times when I attach ribbon, I will wrap it around the top layer or the layer next to the cardstock before I cut it. This time I didn't do that because I needed to stick this layer down, so I stuck the layer down. But this is going to work just fine. So that ribbon turned out pretty well, and I'm just going to cut this side pretty short, and I'm going to cut it at an angle. I don't know if you can see that. Just cut it at an angle there, and set that aside. And then this ribbon is just going to go across and stick out behind our heart, and it's just kind of almost right in the middle. You can put it wherever you like it. And then I'm going to stick it down with glue dots, which I have put right here. So I'm just using some glue dots along this piece here, and just a couple along this long piece that's going to go behind our heart, and then one behind the middle of the bow, and maybe one a little bit on this little piece, just to kind of control how we're sitting on there. So I'm going to go ahead and, I'm sticking to the glue dots. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down right here, although I think I need to move it over a little bit. There we go. So the other thing that we do at Christmas time, at least my husband and I, is go watch our high school football team play football. And if you watched others of my videos, you know I talk about our football team and watching our football team. And yes, we were still playing football up until Christmas. That's what happens every year in my little town of Aledo, because our football team is really good, and the Texas High School State Championships are always the weekend before Christmas. And so we were in the state championship, and we won. So I had forgotten to grab my ink. Oh, excuse me. So yes, we won the state championship. It was our 9th overall. It was our 8th in 11 years. So we are a good football team. So now I'm bringing in this heart, which is just an outline that is kind of stitched looking. And I didn't do this on my sample card, but I decided I wanted to do this for the card, for this one. So I'm just going to stamp that in real red. And then I am going to bring in my sentiment, and that is love you lots. And I'm going to also stamp that in real red right in the middle of the heart. There's somebody outside blowing a leaf blower or something, making a lot of noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm sorry about that. So I'm just going to stamp this right in the middle here, and I'm trying to see if I can do it without sticking my head in your way. I'm just going to stamp that right down and push it down, make sure I get a good image, and that is a little bit off, so I'm going to start over. And I think I'm going to start with the sentiment first and see if I can get that heart around it a little bit better. So I'm going to stamp that down just like that. And there we go. And then I'm going to take this heart and just put it around it, just like so. Just like that. See if that's straight. And that's a little better. So, and then I'm going to take this punch, the one with the plain edge, straight edge, whatever. It's not scalloped. And you can just see how that just fits right in there. And I'm just going to punch that right out, just like that. And then the other thing that I did is I took a piece of the DSP that goes with this this suite. This is one of the pieces. It's this on one side and these foil looking hearts on the other side, and I'm going to use the scallop edge and I'm going to punch this heart out just like this. And you can see how on this piece the scallop punch fits right on there just like that, and you can punch that out. You could also, so on the sample card I used this side. Of course it's upside down on that side. You could also use this side, and this is Flirty Flamingo. And so I've got this over the Flirty Flamingo piece, and you kind of cover up those dots, and I think that looks really pretty. You could also bring in and use one of, I think this is going to be too big for this card, but you could, these little heart doilies come in this suite, and you could just put those, layer them just like that, and put it on there. And you could do that. It's a little bit big, but I think that looks pretty cool. You could also just use it like this. I kind of like it layered, 3 layers, so I think I'm actually going to try it that way. So I'm going to close my stamp pad, and I'm going to get some glue on this side, just like this. This glue will come out. I do not know what is happening with my glue these days. So I go back to work on Thursday, but it will be pretty quiet because a lot of people are going to be taking off Thursday and Friday since it's just Thursday and Friday, the end of the week, when we start back for the new year at the end of the week. People tend to take those days just to extend their break, which is fine. I like to work those days because so many people are gone and it's so quiet, and I can get things done, and I can kind of start to get geared up for the new year. So I think I'm going to pop this one up on some dimensionals onto the doily heart, and because I think that's going to be super cute. So I'm going to put 3 little dimensionals on here, and probably 2 would be enough, but I'm going to go with 3. So just like this. And that's a little bit off. Let me see if I can peel that. And these doilies come in Real Red and Flirty Flamingo. So some are red, some are Flirty Flamingo. The other side is white, so you could use the white side as well. You could stamp on these. They are just so cute, and they can be super useful. And then if we just, so it's going to hang off the card a little bit because of where my bow is, but I think we're going to be good. So I'm going to pop this up on Dimensionals, above and below the ribbon, and see how that works. And I just want this little piece of ribbon to go so, just like so. Or you could, I think I want that a little bit higher up. So I'm going to just, I'm ripping one of those little hearts, but that's not going to matter. This one might matter if I rip it, so let's try not to rip it. So I'm just going to pop it up a little bit higher, just like that. And I think that is super cute. And I'm just going to trim this ribbon right at the edge here. So that looks super cute. Now let's do the inside. And I'm going to use these solid stamps, and I'm using Real Red ink and Flirty Flamingo ink. So I want them both open. I'm going to clean off these other stamps while I'm here, and I'm just using my Simply Chamois, which is just a chamois. You can get it in the annual catalog, order it from the annual catalog, and I just keep it wet with water, and you just wipe the stamps on them, and that cleans them off really nicely. So I'm using the sentiment Happy Valentine's Day, and I'm going to stamp that in Real Red ink. Get that inked up, and I did get some ink on my thumb, so I need to try not to get it on my card. And I'm going to put that toward the top and try to make sure I get it straight. I hope that's straight. It's hard to tell. And yeah, that looks pretty straight. So I'm going to set that to the side, and then I'm going to use the bigger solid heart, and I'm going to stamp that in Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just kind of stamping it along the top part of this card like this. And I'm going to go with that for now. And then the smaller solid heart in Real Red, and I'm going to stamp some of those like this, just kind of among here. And I think that looks really cute on there, kind of going off the edge. That is super cute. So I'm going to clean that off, and I am going to close up these stamp sets really quickly. And now, one more thing to finish this card, and I'm using these from My Heart Faceted Gems, and these are also part of the suite, and you can see how they're Flirty Flamingo, clear. There's some red ones. These are super cute. There's some smaller ones and larger ones, and I'm going to use some of this fine tip glue pen. You could use your liquid Tombow glue as well. I'm just going to put some dots of glue in a few places to have a few of these here, and maybe a few places down here, just to give it some sparkle and some bling, and one on the solid heart. And then it's very important that you store this and close it right away, because it can get closed up. So there's a little wire there that goes into the tip. And then I'm going to use take your pick tool, oops, and there we go, and use the putty end. There's too much putty here, so I'm gonna twist a little bit of that off, and then just start picking up some of these and seeing how this works here. They're kind of upside down. These are interesting. I guess you want to do it like that. I don't know. Those are very three-dimensional. So, just saying. But they're super cute. And I'm using some clear ones. I used a real red one, and that's a clear one, and I think I stuck my finger in that one. And let me get I think you want to see the faceted part, so you want to put it down on the flat side. Oh. And I don't know if that's sticking. You could use pearls. Oh, my putty came off of there. You could use, if you got the red gemstones or rhinestones from the holiday catalog, you could use those. Those go really well because they are actually real red, so they match perfectly with this suite. Those look nice, so there we go. And just some bling on there. Isn't that pretty? I don't know how those are going to stick. Like if you wanted to put this in the mail, I don't know how those are going to stay. But that glue that I used is real strong. So that's that card. Isn't that pretty? So we've been going 30 minutes. So I probably won't finish the card that I wanted, the other card I wanted to show you, but I wanted to show you what I was working on. So I started with a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4 and folded it over, and I cut 1 inch off the edge here. I think it was 1 inch. And then I used a piece of the same DSP, and this is 1 inch strip, 1 inch by 5.5, and I just glued that on the bottom there, so that's the top. And then I wanted to have some hearts just kind of from the top here on this corner down over to this corner. So what I did to add those hearts in was I used this as a template, and I just laid it on my card, and then I used my glue, and I took some of my these little hearts that came out from when I die cut these pieces, and I just glued them, red and Flirty Flamingo, using this as a template. So this glue is being a problem, so I do not know what is the issue here, but I'm gonna have to do an operation on it, I think. So I just bumped my thing again. You might want to like temporarily stick this down, but I just took them and I stuck them in. This one doesn't fit there where they fit. This one fits there, and use this as a template. So that is stuck down, and then I'll get a bigger red one just to kind of show you how that works. And if I can get my glue to cooperate with me, I think it's almost, maybe almost out, although it doesn't feel like it is. So like this, and then that one fits there. So, and then when you're done, you can just peel this up and you have the hearts in this pattern on here. And then the other thing is I put my sentiment here, and I'm going to use the same sentiment, and I'll put this on here so you can see what the sentiment looks like. I'm using this Love You Lots sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it down in real red and over here kind of in this bottom left corner, just like this. And that looks really cute. And then to finish that off, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to stamp the outline around it, just like this. Sorry, I keep bumping that. I'm gonna get my head in the way here so I can make sure I get that straight around there. And there we go. So you focused on my head. I don't know if that's straight on the card or not, but I think it's fine. That looks really cute. And then I also used one of these punch outs, so you could punch out this red one here, and I'm just gonna cut it out like this so I can punch it out like this. And I need to cut more, sorry. So I need this to fit in here, so I punched one of these out and used it on here. And then also I stamped, I get this one out, this heart right here on a piece of white, and I'll just go ahead and stamp it so you can see what that looks like. And I'm gonna stamp it in Flirty Flamingo on my white, because my Flirty Flamingo is open. And let me stamp that right here. Let's get that, push that down so I get a good image. And that looks real cute. And then I fussy cut this one out, and I won't do around all the little scallops right now so we can get this done. But I'll put the finished card on my blog. My friend took the other one that we made like this, so I can't show you that one. But so I cut this out, and so it's like right here. And then you have 3 hearts, and then you've got the little hearts in a pattern that kind of go down along here, and it looks super cute. And you can put some bling on it. You could do this as a smaller heart. You could do it as this heart if you wanted to. There's a lot of things you can do here, but I think that looks super, I think that's a super cute card with that little uneven border there. And you can overlap those. You could stamp in the middle here. You could stamp your sentiment on here. There are just lots of fun things you can do with this. And it looks really cute with the hearts on here in that pattern. Again, I'll put that on my blog so you can see that. So those are some super fun Valentine's Day cards. And then you have, you can just make the other with this cutout and a real red. This is the one we made today. This is the one I made before. So you can use this cutout and a real red, because you've die cut out of both of them, and you can make 2 cards just like that. And you've got some Valentine's Day cards. So thank you for hanging out with me today and stamping with me, and I hope you have a happy new year and are ready to order some really fun stamps and get some great celebration stamp sets starting on Friday. And I would love to have you order from my store. The link will be in my blog and under this video in YouTube. So Have a happy new year, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.